And good morning. This is Hugh Mackin with Hughes on First with the Catholic Church, and just very happy to be with you today. We are here with a very, very special guest, Brooke Joiner from Catholic Owned. And Catholic Owned is a new apostolate in the church, and it is really an effort to help Catholics to be more intentional in the way that we spend our money. Catholic Owned is a rapidly growing movement, really, and it's designed to connect Catholic consumers with Catholic-owned businesses across the country. And that's at a time when many families and business owners are looking for values-aligned alternatives to their current purchasing options. And so Catholic Owned really offers a wonderful way to strengthen our economy by supporting businesses that share our Catholic faith and mission. And so, as I said, I'm just thrilled to be joined. We're thrilled to be joined by Brooke, who I'll introduce in a minute. Also happy to be joined by my co-host, Josh Canning. Thanks, Josh, for being here.
Hey, Hugh, great to be with you.
Yes, so we'll bring on Brooke right now. And Brooke, really happy we finally were able to make this happen. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
Yeah, so maybe just to it's an honor for us, really. We've obviously been in discussions for a while, and we've been really big fans of the work that you're doing with Catholic Owned. So just tell us about yourself and about Catholic Owned. Who are you, Brooke Joiner, and what's Catholic Owned, and why are you doing this?
So, Brooke Joiner, I'm a wife. First, I'm Catholic and consecrated to the Immaculate Heart, but I'm a wife to Mateo. We've been married 12 years, and we have 4 children, ages 2 through 11. So we're still kind of in the early years. And Catholic Owned really is, like you said, it's a movement of Catholics supporting Catholics. For a long time, we've said we should support each other. But when it's really difficult to do, it's understandable that we don't. And that's where we come in. We want to make it easier to shop Catholic than would be the alternative. And that's whether you want to buy Christmas gifts for the children, you need to sell your house, you want to find a doctor, or you need an attorney. We want to help you provide that authentically Catholic-owned alternative, and again, make it easy. So that's the vision. It's a big vision. Lots of work ahead, but that's what we're working to build.
So I'm just curious, what were you doing before this, and why did you leave whatever you were doing? I mean, my understanding is you had a pretty promising career path before you and your husband. Is that right?
Yeah, that is true. We were working in the marine industry in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. My husband is from Italy, and he had worked with this same company a total of 17 years. And we opened the U.S. office for them and launched it from nothing and built it up for 4 years. And what was happening was that we were growing in devotion to the Immaculate Heart, truly. And as that was happening, I don't know if folks are familiar with the yachting and marine industry, but it's not really about becoming saints. It's very materialistic. There are a lot of things, partying and excesses and things that are not aligned with our faith. And so as time was going on, this sort of chasm was growing between, we're putting in all this work, growing in devotion, and then the work we're doing is ultimately contributing to things that not only do we not care about, but that are contrary to our faith. And so we had our 4th child, and ultimately we made arrangements to be able to leave the jobs. We worked for the same company. We walked in and we quit a month after our 4th was born.
Brooke, it's really interesting hearing kind of the backstory, because it sounds like you were feeling a conflictedness about contributing to something that was misaligned with your faith. And I was going to ask the question about like the pain point that you felt in starting Catholic Owns, but maybe can you connect those a little bit more and just kind of flesh that out? Why do you feel it's really important to be building up things that are fully aligned with who we are as Catholics?
Well, ultimately, the culture is downstream from the economy. So whatever is funded will grow. So whether that be political candidates advancing our values, um, movies and theater and art that conveys our cultural values, or even just capital campaigns if a cathedral needs a new roof, simple things, schools needing to be funded, all of these things are where the culture ultimately develops from. And if the people with dollars are funding things that are against our values, we're losing the culture war. And I think that's been happening for a long time.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and so really we think we need to be helping these businesses be successful, be profitable, grow so we can grow our economic influence, which ultimately impacts the culture. Because if we're not doing that, we're doing the opposite. It's not neutral ever.
Yeah, and that's a really interesting point, and it's one that wasn't apparent to me. My wife, she's used this term. I've heard buzz about this building up of the Catholic economy for a little while, but it wasn't clear to me that connection. I actually was, knowing that we were going to be having you on today, I was just kind of asking AI different questions about like why is this an important thing, and it hit on what you just said. And if I can just read in brief, it said, Economic strength enables cultural strength. Every community, religious or otherwise, thrives when it has stable institutions: schools, charities, media, publishers, local businesses, social services. If members of a community don't support its institutions, those institutions weaken or disappear. For Catholics, building up the Catholic economy means directing resources towards organizations that reinforce rather than contradict Catholic social and moral principles. In other words, if Catholics want a vibrant Catholic culture, they need a strong Catholic ecosystem. And that's it's kind of like it's staring you in the face, but it wasn't clear to me. I grew up in a city where we have three hospital networks, a secular one, a Jewish one, and a Catholic one. And if we don't go to the Catholic one, then we shouldn't be surprised when we go to the doctor and they're offering us things completely misaligned with our faith, whether it be abortion, quote unquote gender reassignment surgery, or euthanasia, which is all legal in my country, in Canada. So it's kind of more apparent now, but I think it's really important the work that you're doing to help Catholics find it more easy to support Catholic businesses and institutions.
And it really is, it's so obvious. Like you said, it really is staring us in the face. Um, and I was speaking with someone the other day, and really they said, why now? And I was just reflecting that, I think during the COVID era, when Roe fell, companies were, and the culture, the political culture was also more leaning towards the pro-death sentiments, I would say. And so the companies were very bold in saying, oh, well, we're mourning the fall of Roe, and we're paying for our company's abortions to travel out of state. Um, and so at that time, it was like people were sort of like more on fire for that, because it's in your face more that, oh, if you place an order with this company, you are literally contributing. Obviously, it's remote and the church is very understanding. I'm not, trying to guilt people, but um, today, the political culture is such that it's not so popular for business to be so loud about the pro death values. And so the companies are more quiet. And I believe as a result of this, Catholics especially have become complacent.
Mhm.
And so even though it is so obvious, we need to be reminded that this really matters. It's funny, people tell me different things. Oh, I really only care about Catholics for my doctor, you know, or it doesn't really matter to me unless it's like a Catholic themed gift, or and everyone has their thing that they're like that matters more to me. Um, But ultimately, every purchase from a Catholic is contributing to their top line, hopefully bringing some to the bottom line, buying groceries for them, all of these things for these Catholic families. So it all matters. And even though it is very obvious, we need to be reminded all the time. And that's what we try to do.
Yeah, so Brooke, that's great. I'm curious in particular about how you do that. Can you tell us a little bit about Catholic owned, like the website, the app? How do you go about actually making this happen?
We have a multi-pronged approach. So I'll preface that I think that mono-use apps are dead. And we are serving the Catholic audience. And so our plan and our work is to serve and solve as many problems for Catholics in the economy as possible. And so with Catholic Owned, you will find multiple aspects there. Our foundation is our business directory. So we have thousands of companies owned by Catholics. Many have come to us, many have been referred. And we're always reaching out to them to try to get them to verify at a higher level. Um, the business directory is nationwide. It is always growing. We have more to add than we can actually right now. So be on the lookout for big updates on that. But the business directory has all the businesses there. You browse, you connect with them directly, and use that as a tool. Another part about another aspect rather of the Catholic economy is professionals. Not everyone is a business owner, but everyone who is a Catholic in the working world has a reason to connect with other Catholic professionals. And so our app users asked us for more ways to connect because they don't always need to buy something, um, but they always want to be more connected. They always want to be plugged in. And so from this was born Catholic Speed Networking. So these are events we host. They're 4 times a month, so different times, so everyone can make one a month at least. And the idea here is to be making these connections intentionally, efficiently, and to be thinking who in my network could benefit from this person or vice versa. The truth is, no digital tool will ever accurately and completely encompass your network and my network and everybody's network. But when we are speaking to each other, we can sort of connect the dots and put the pieces together. So that's kind of the logic behind Catholic Speed Networking. And that's just where we are now. We have a lot kind of in the pipeline going forward. But that's what we're doing right now.
Very, very cool. Very cool, very exciting. And it sounds like obviously, gosh, the uptake has been huge. So many people joined already. It sounds like you have quite a backlog. So, I don't want to make more work for you, but how would a interested Catholic business owner join this community? What's the process look like?
Yes, all are welcome. Please feel free to join. We love to have you guys join. Our process can be done completely online. CatholiCoin.com, you literally click for businesses anywhere. We do require that our businesses adhere to our founding pillars. And I can go through those, Josh, if you'd like, but basically we're ensuring that these people are genuinely Catholic, the ownership, and they're practicing their faith and they're living it out in the business. We started with our signature founding pillars before we ever got our first business. So every verified and featured business has signed on to these. And we lean in heavily on those. So they sign up for those. We have really options for everybody, every budget, because we truly believe that every Catholic who cares about how they run their business has a place and deserves to be listed in the app. So
Very cool. And if you're watching live or on the replay, we have on screen a QR code you can scan to take you to the app, CatholicOwn.com, otherwise CatholicOwn.com. Brooke, so in terms of the type of businesses, so gosh, so many of them, but I imagine some are kind of more explicitly, obviously Catholic, like perhaps a Catholic goods store or e-commerce store. Does it also include, for example, like a Catholic realtor? Are they in all kinds of industries? Tell us about the types of businesses that are part of the community.
Absolutely. That's a really common question we get. So we have all business types. And also, if you're a business owner and you do not use explicitly Catholic marketing, it's okay. If your employees are not Catholic, it's okay. There's still a place for you because we as Catholics, we have to buy tons of stuff, especially because most of us have a gazillion kids. So we got to buy everything. So that's sort of the logic. We have doctors, we have attorneys, life coaches, realtors, accountants. Uh, we also have clothes makers and shoemakers, marketing companies, truly all business types. We even have like larger companies over time are also coming on, which is exciting. When you see the larger companies that have, kind of quietly been Catholic, but the leadership always was. And so that's kind of one of the exciting things we're finding too.
Very cool. Just one more thing. I feel like I'm kind of like restating the obvious so much, but it's just kind of light bulbs for me. But my wife and I are very much involved in our children's classical Catholic school, and we're hosting a donor event tomorrow night. And part of that has been inviting business owners, and specifically looking at Catholic business owners who care about the school. And it just sort of it occurs to me, if you're on the lookout for a Catholic hairdresser or a Catholic landscaping company, the downstream effects of supporting those kinds of organizations are they're owned by people who have a faith which tells them we need to support through tithing important Catholic institutions and whatnot. So it's just like one of those things where, again, oh, it's so obvious, but when we choose to support a Catholic business, we are choosing to support Catholic institutions in the Catholic Church writ large. So, anyways, yes, definitely check out the app, audience. Go ahead and check and find the local Catholic baker, hairdresser, etc., because they're probably either already on Catholic owned or will be joining soon.
Absolutely. Well, and I love that you touched on that because that's such a common thing for folks organizing events like that to think, well, who's going to be our donors? you know, um, and when we're in a sort of approach of not supporting them, in the habit of not supporting those businesses.
Oh, it looks like we lost Brooke there. While we get her back, Hugh, what are your thoughts so far? Any light bulbs going off for you as they are kind of for me? Oh, there we go. We got Brooke back. Awesome. And Hugh, you're on mute if you wanna take yourself off. But Brooke, sorry, we lost you for a second there. And then I got distracted bringing Hugh into the conversation. Do you want to just pick up the point that you were making before we lost you?
Yes, absolutely. And please pardon, I guess landscapers are coming by right now.
Yeah,
So
my house too. So that's so funny. I don't know if they're Catholic, but I'm going to go find out.
right, it's not.
Good
But
call, Josh. Good call, Josh.
yeah, when it comes time to put the gala together and the fundraiser, we're gonna call the businesses. But do we only call them then, or do we also call them when we need their service? Because if we call them when we need their service, then they're able to give in those times. And so I think just taking that moment to connect the dots, I appreciate that, Josh, because it's important to think that stuff through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to see if I can actually bring up the Catholic-owned website on my screen here in a minute, Brooke. But
Sure.
before I do that, would you mind just sharing an example of a business or a customer, right? Because, I mean, Catholic-owned is for both businesses and Catholic consumers, and potentially even non-Catholic consumers too, right? Who want to support Catholic organizations. But can you just give me an example of a business or customer who has benefited from being a part of Catholic owned?
Yes. So our business owners, they love when they get calls from people who say, "I found you on Catholic owned," because suddenly, their guard can go down, is what they say. It's like, okay, we're on the same page. Um, they receive high value clients, and they also, our businesses love the connection. We offer them networking amongst the business owners only as well, and just being together, meeting each other. We offer formation opportunities and networking for them, and they are just so grateful that somebody has taken the time to support them. They feel so seen. Um, and then on the consumer side, people say things like, "This app has transformed the way that I shop. I'm always thinking Catholic first," which is music to our ears. That's what we want. We want everyone to think Catholic first anytime you need to buy anything. Check Catholic first. Check Catholic owned first. Um, and honestly, even if you find the business somewhere else, as long as you're buying from a Catholic, that's what we care about. Um, but really, they're loving the businesses. They find really unique finds on there, businesses they otherwise couldn't find. Especially with the way that social media is now, the way that the ads are filtered. Um, you can't always find the businesses that you really want to be looking for as Catholics. And so we that's something else we love, to really shine a light on them, to make it so they can be found, and they really appreciate that. So
Hmm. Very cool. And Hughes brought up on screen the look of the app, the map search feature. And yeah, definitely check it out if you haven't downloaded it already. Definitely worth checking out. You'll learn about and be able to connect with people in your own neighborhood that align with your values. So, very, very cool. Brooke, so you mentioned big things coming down the pike, some announcements forthcoming in the near future. Maybe if we could ask you in the next like 3 to 5 years, where do you see things going for the Catholic owned community?
well, 3 to 5 years is a long time.
Mhm.
It's not, but it is, because we really focus on taking care of the people in front of us. And we really like to allow for divine providence as much as possible. It's really important to us. um, and the other thing I'll say is that we really take a collaborative approach. So those three together create immense possibility. um, we don't do the competitive and the as you kind of see in what I call the old guard of the Catholic world, people cutting each other down and being so competitive. We very much are. If someone comes to us and wants to work with us, it's like open arms, come right in. We're serving the same people. Let's work together. And that approach, I think, we can reach a lot more people. So, with that being said, for sure, the entire US being completely full in terms of the businesses. So every Catholic in the US searching would find a valid result, for sure in 5 years, if not the three. And we do have a lot of global interest as well. I should say international, certain countries. And so I would like to see some expansion into some of those countries within 5 years as well.
Hmm.
But it's really up to Our Lady. So we
Yeah.
take it one day at a time.
Well, we could definitely use it up in Canada, that's for sure. I see we have a question from LinkedIn. Feel free to go ahead and ask that. Sayam, I see you just said you have a question. Feel free to ask that if you like. Hugh, I know we are coming up against a stop pretty soon. Um, any kind of closing questions on your end?
No, actually, I mean, I think, Brooke, you pretty much covered it all and covered it really well. I mean, I'm just eager to see, just, eager to see and hopefully, just be a part of supporting the growth of Catholic owned. I think, I guess one question I'd have would be for those listening, um, how can how can we as like consumers support the growth of Catholic owned, and as business owners, like what can we do?
So if you are only a consumer, we invite you to download the app, browse the businesses, reach out to them, and buy from them. Truly think Catholic
Mm.
first, whatever you need to buy. Um, if you are a business owner, we invite you to list your business with us. Join the community, get involved, because we really want to help you. And I do think that is something really unique about us, is that we truly care and we really are doing the work to help you. So we hope you'll join us. If you're a Catholic professional and you want to network with others, join our networking program. So the call is get involved. We really believe, even if you can buy one thing from a business a year, maybe the most you can do is pray for us. The truth is, there is a place for every Catholic who cares in this movement. And so our invitation is to come find your place in the new Catholic economy, however that looks for you in your current state of life.
Yeah, nice. And, I'm noticing that I didn't think there was a web app, but I'm noticing there is actually a web app, and that those listening, if you don't have a business, you can nominate a business. Is that right?
You can nominate a business. You can submit your bulletin.
Very cool. Okay.
That's where a lot of our backlog comes from. People send in a lot, and so it takes us a while sometimes. But yes, so exactly. There's a lot of ways to get involved. Putting this, if you're in a position to put this in your bulletin or share with your, the folks at your parish. We have people that put it in the bulletin sometimes, which is amazing. Sharing in your chat groups, your, whatever chat app you're using. That's a great way to help. So there are so many ways to get involved. And it really is universal in the sense, just like our churches, everyone has unique gifts and abilities. And we need all of them for the Catholic economy to work. So we invite you to get involved. And it's totally free for users. I didn't say that. But it's
okay.
We ask for an email and a first name. So we know who you are when we send you an email.
No, it's so cool. I mean, to me, this is like the Catholic business of like Mass times, Mass times. Our friend Josh Pablo Liceri here in Ave, who has done such a great job with Mass times. I feel like you're doing the same thing here, Brooke, with Catholic businesses. I mean, 4.4 for your ratings on the app. I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, there are like very popular apps. One actually I've been using that are doing pretty well, that have like 2.5 star ratings, and so
really?
4.4, like kudos to you. That's amazing. And you mentioned on the website 10,000 users. Is that right? There's something along those lines, I think.
Yeah, we're almost to 12,000 actually.
Wow.
So pretty soon we're going to update that ticker, and I can't wait. So, yeah.
That's awesome. All right, great. Well, we definitely wish you well, Brooke, and thank you again for joining us today. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Just want to say thank you so much for having me. This was a real pleasure, and we appreciate all the support from you guys. And yeah, invite the audience to check us out. You can always reach out to me directly. Use our contact us form. We really are here to serve our fellow Catholics. We're real people, and we want to talk to you. So please feel free to get in touch.
All right, great. Yes, thanks again, Brooke. And thank you, Josh, for co-hosting. Much appreciated. My name is Hugh Mackin. This is Hughes on First. We are a production of Catholic 365. You can learn more about Catholic 365 on our Facebook page, Catholic 365, and also at Catholic365.com. And also, of course, Catholic Owned. You can learn more about Catholic Owned at CatholicOwned.com. And of course, you can also search for Catholic Owned on your iOS or Android app. And do feel free to reach out to us with any questions through our Facebook page. And with that, thank you again, everyone. And so long, and God bless. Have a blessed rest of your week.
Thanks, Brooke.
Yes, thanks.